What do you want to do? Chunji's mouth had been mangled and he could not speak, but that did not mean he could not use Yuan power sound condensation. While he used Yuan power sound condensation towards Duan Lingtian, his face was filled with terror. Where was his previous arrogance? Duan Lingtian did not speak. He answered Chunji with his actions. Swish! 4 swords shot out together at such speed that most people present only heard a single, fleeting sword whistle. Only a few people heard the complete 4 sword whistles. Puff, 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 puff. On Chunji's body, blood splattered as hideous blood holes appeared simultaneously on his 2 arms and 2 legs. This scene made everyone present shudder, and Chunji let out a series of shrill screams at the appropriate time. However, because his mouth was mangled, his current screams were also extremely strange. Through his constantly trembling body and hideous face, one could see the pain he was currently enduring, a heart-wrenching pain. Although he hated Duan Lingtian, he no longer glared at him as he had before. Now, he only had one thought left. I don't want to die. I concede. I concede. I concede. While enduring inhuman pain, Chunji looked at Duan Lingtian and hurriedly used Yuan power sound condensation. However, Duan Lingtian acted as if he hadn't heard anything, unhurriedly raising the sword in his hand, his eyes flickering with a cold, sharp light that contained no emotion. Why hasn't Chunji conceded yet? Many onlookers were stunned. The situation before them was so clear. For Chunji to still not concede, was he looking for death? Wait, Chunji's mouth is mangled. Now, even if he wants to concede, it's difficult. Yeah, even if he uses Yuan power sound condensation to tell Duan Lingtian he concedes, Duan Lingtian can still continue to kill him and just say afterward that he didn't hear it. Soon, many people realized what was happening. For a moment, everyone came to a sudden realization. No wonder he mangled Chunji's mouth. He was afraid Chunji would concede. If he wanted to kill Chunji, he would have done it long ago. Now, he clearly wants to slowly torture Chunji before finally killing him. The reason he mangled Chunji's mouth must have been out of concern that Chunji would concede. Many people guessed this. Thinking of this, many felt a chill rise from the soles of their feet and shoot straight to their heads. When they looked at Duan Lingtian again, their faces and eyes were filled with dread. The whispers of the onlookers reached Chunji's ears, making him realize the situation as well. Immediately, Chunji struggled to turn his head toward the 3rd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island, and while enduring inhuman pain, he used Yuan power sound condensation to say, 3rd Island Master, save me. Quickly save me. I concede. I concede. Chunji kept using Yuan power sound condensation, his tone filled with anxiety. Swish! Just as Chunji was calling for help from the 3rd Island Master, a soaring sword light fell from the sky, cutting him in 2. The entire process was clean and efficient. For a moment, there was dead silence over the vast sea. Though there were many people, it was as calm as the sea surface. Plop, plop. It wasn't until the 2 halves of Chunji's corpse fell and the sounds of them hitting the water were heard that the crowd of onlookers was startled awake. Before this, Duan Lingtian didn't forget to collect the spoils, taking Chunji's storage ring and quasi-emperor grade spirit sword, one by one without missing anything. Chunji, as the only son of the 2nd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island, certainly had many good things in his possession. The 3rd Island Master took a deep look at Duan Lingtian. Although he hadn't planned to pay attention to Chunji's Yuan power sound condensation, the speed at which the other party killed Chunji was faster than his reaction time. Not to mention he hadn't intended to save Chunji in the first place. Even if he had wanted to, it would have been too late. Truly bold, to even dare kill the 2nd Island Master's only son. The 3rd Island Master sized up Duan Lingtian, his heart filled with surprise, but at the same time, he was somewhat joyful because he had long wanted Chunji dead. He was only hindered by his previous promise to the Great Island Master and couldn't act against Chunji. Now that someone else had done it for him, he was naturally happy. The young man standing not far away, the 3rd Island Master's own grandson, also had a bright smile on his face, eventually laughing somewhat crazily. Chunji is dead. Chunji is dead. Chunji is finally dead. Kyer, did you see that? By killing Chunji, Duan Lingtian had entered the top 10. 3rd Island Master. The rules of this Mist Concealment Martial Gathering that allow killing were set by your Mist Concealment Island. I know Chunji was the only son of your 2nd Island Master, so you shouldn't seek revenge against me for his death, right? When Duan Lingtian returned to the group from Lingxian Peak, he looked at the third island master of Mist Concealment Island from a distance and asked, "Of course not." The third island master shook his head. "In the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, life and death are irrelevant. Even if my own grandson or my personal disciple died in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, I would not trouble the person who killed them because of it." "That's good then." Duan Lingtian nodded indifferently. Whoosh. At the same time, the whole place erupted in an uproar, as expected. He actually killed Chunji. Although he killed Chunji at the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering and is fully justified, the second island master of Mist Concealment Island surely won't be able to kill him openly. But he will definitely strike in secret to avenge his only son. This Duan Lingtian is truly crazy. The gazes falling on Duan Lingtian, besides surprise and shock, were only filled with pity. In their view, Duan Lingtian's daring to kill the second island master's only son was simply seeking his own death. It was impossible for him to survive. However, was Duan Lingtian really crazy? Naturally not. With so many people here, that second island master of Mist Concealment Island surely won't find it easy to act against me once he hears the news. Once I get those 10 Saint Stones, I'll take Kier and Little Fayer and leave this place. As long as I'm far from Mist Concealment Island, why should I fear that second island master of Mist Concealment Island? Duan Lingtian had already made a decision in his heart. He was not a reckless person. Since he chose to kill Chunji, he had plans to deal with everything. Of course, this was just his current plan. He actually killed Chunji. In that case, that expert from Mist Concealment Island can't possibly help him anymore. Once the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering ends, I'll follow him and kill him. Martial Emperor Yuhan's eyes were cold and sharp, and the two little sluts beside him. Kill them all together. Could this kid be a demon emperor? Such a thing doesn't seem like something a timid human martial god would do. Demon Emperor Manhwa guessed with some surprise. A demon emperor is formed by the cultivation of a demon, and a demon is essentially a Yao beast. Yao beasts have more violent tempers than humans. Even if they later possess intelligence no less than a human's, their tempers are far from as docile as a human's. This was exactly why Demon Emperor Manhwa made such a guess. He is a martial god. At this moment, Martial Emperor Qing Xian, who was nearby, spoke indifferently. A human. Demon Emperor Manhwa was startled. Not just a human, but a human with outstanding talent. Martial Emperor Qing Xian said, "Qing Xian, do you know him?" Demon Emperor Manhwa was stunned. Martial Emperor Qing Xian just smiled and did not answer Demon Emperor Manhwa. Damn, how did this Duan Lingtian become so strong? Over at Thundercloud Peak, Zhou Yi's face was extremely ugly. With his strength, it's impossible for me to suppress him and force him to reveal the secret of that mysterious stone tablet. If it were anything else, I could ask Martial Emperor Lei Ming to help me. But this matter concerns the mysterious stone tablet, so it's impossible to let Martial Emperor Lei Ming help me. Zhou Yi knew clearly in his heart. Once Martial Emperor Lei Ming knew the mystery of that stone tablet in his hand, he would definitely take it for himself at the first opportunity. That was not what he wanted to see. In that case, I can only give up. Zhou Yi made a difficult decision. The choice he faced now was like a beggar who hadn't eaten for days and suddenly saw a delicious roast chicken. Just as he wanted to eat the roast chicken, someone told him it was highly poisonous and that he would die if he ate it. At such a time, he naturally had to choose to give up. Brother Lingtian, you were too impulsive. Yang Hui smiled bitterly. My women are not to be desecrated by anyone. Duan Lingtian's eyes flashed as he spoke indifferently, his words carrying an unquestionable tone. Kier and Li Fei stood beside Duan Lingtian, and hearing his words, their eyes were filled with tenderness. They leaned against both sides of Duan Lingtian, holding his arms. They were willing to live and die with their man. The Mist Concealment Martial Gathering continues. Just then, the voice of the third island master of Mist Concealment Island came again, announcing the continuation of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, perhaps influenced and stimulated by the bloody scene just now. In the following duels, the participants didn't seem to hold back anymore. Every move was at full strength and aimed to kill. In a short while, several Martial Emperor experts fell. Innate divine ability. At some point, an exclamation came, waking Duan Lingtian, who had seemingly been resting with his eyes closed. Duan Lingtian opened his eyes and saw a black lotus shooting out from the forehead of the youth in black, heading straight for his opponent. The black lotus pierced through the air spinning continuously as it shot out. Facing the aggressive Black Lotus, the youth in black's opponent, a blue-clad middle-aged man, hurriedly mobilized his power to resist. However, the defensive barrier formed by his power couldn't stop the Black Lotus at all. The Black Lotus passed through the defensive barrier without any resistance. The defensive barrier remained, but the Black Lotus had already entered the blue-clad middle-aged man's body. Although it left no wound on him, it still made his body tremble. In the next moment, his eyes widened, and he fell silently. It's a soul attack type, innate divine ability. Duan Lingtian was startled. That Black Lotus was the youth in black's innate divine ability, driven by mental energy, belonging to mental energy attacks, which is to say, a soul attack. Ordinary Martial Emperor experts, unless they specialize in soul attacks, find it difficult to use soul attacks against opponents who are also Martial Emperor experts. But those with soul attack type innate divine abilities are different. Their own mental energy is merely a tool to activate the innate divine ability. Soul attack type innate divine ability is powerful and bizarre. Once unleashed, unless the opponent's cultivation is higher or their mental energy is stronger, they are almost certain to die. Most importantly, soul attacks cannot be blocked by primal force or profound truths, because the two are fundamentally different types of power. Soul attacks are more illusory, whereas primal force and profound truths are tangible powers. Both were martial artists at the second-level Martial Emperor realm, and they were evenly matched initially. But when the youth in black unleashed his innate divine ability, he killed his opponent in the blink of an eye. What a terrifying innate divine ability. That is a soul attack type innate divine ability, impossible to guard against, unless one's mental energy level is higher than his. Encountering him means certain death, even if one's mental energy level is higher than his. As long as it's not significantly higher, he can still use his innate divine ability to severely injure the opponent's soul, and then defeat them while their consciousness is blurred. The surrounding spectators reacted, discussing animatedly, their gazes toward the youth in black filled with apprehension. And just as they said, later, during the process of entering the top 10 of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, the youth in black encountered an existence at the third-level Martial Emperor realm. Although his innate divine ability failed to kill the opponent, it still affected them. While the opponent was affected, the youth in black attacked, severely injuring and defeating them. As expected of an anomaly, Duan Lingtian's side. I wonder where martial god Qing Xian found this disciple. Since the start of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering until now, 3 other anomalies have appeared, but their innate divine abilities are far inferior to his. Yang Hui couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Zhou Yi. Not long after, Duan Lingtian saw Zhou Yi enter the arena. However, Zhou Yi's opponent was in existence at the second-level Martial Emperor realm, who easily defeated him. Zhou Yi, why didn't you use your quasi-emperor grade spirit artifact? After Zhou Yi lost the qualification to advance to the top 10, he returned to Martial Emperor Lei Ming's side, incurring Martial Emperor Lei Ming's displeasure. In his view, Zhou Yi not using his quasi-emperor grade spirit artifact meant he hadn't tried his best. Master, even if I used the quasi-emperor grade spirit artifact, I wouldn't be his opponent, Zhou Yi said with a wry smile. Of course, he was just making an excuse. The reason he didn't use the stone tablet in his hand, which was comparable to a quasi-emperor grade spirit artifact, was actually that he worried about exposing it to Duan Lingtian. He definitely didn't want to be targeted by Duan Lingtian. At the very least, before he knew the secret of that mysterious stone tablet, he didn't want Duan Lingtian to know it was in his possession. Not to mention that Duan Lingtian was stronger than him, making it easy to seize the stone tablet from his hand. Even with Martial Emperor Lei Ming's protection, if the opponent became enraged, told Martial Emperor Lei Ming the secret of the stone tablet, and revealed the news that he possessed it to Martial Emperor Lei Ming, the stone tablet in his hand would definitely be seized by Martial Emperor Lei Ming. That was not what he wanted to see. He wouldn't want the stone tablet he obtained after exhausting all his efforts to end up benefiting Martial Emperor Lei Ming. Only he knew the great price he had paid for that stone tablet. As time passed, the individuals who ranked in the top 10 of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, including Duan Lingtian, were also finalized. On Ling Xin Peak's side, Zhou Di, as Yang Hui's eldest personal disciple, failed to make the top 10, missing out on the Saint Stone. Although Martial Emperor Lingxian was somewhat disappointed by this, he did not intend to blame Zhou Di, simply because too many people participating in today's Mist Concealment Martial Gathering had entered the Martial Emperor realm. Therefore, only Duan Lingtian from Lingxian Peak's side entered the top 10. Among the group from Chili Mountain, only one of the Martial Emperor disciples under Martial Emperor Chili entered the top 10, and that was Dong Hu. Over at Yuhan Valley, only Su Rong entered the top 10. At Thundercloud Peak, only Lan Bai entered the top 10. Under Martial God Qing Xian, a total of 2 people entered the top 10, including the youth in black who mastered the soul attack type, innate divine ability. On the Yunxiao continent, a total of 6 human martial artists broke into the top 10 seats of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. Of course, another human martial artist also broke into the top 10 of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, the personal disciple of the 3rd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island. She was the pale-faced, bloodthirsty young woman. The remaining 3 seats were occupied by 1 Demon Emperor expert from Mist Concealment Island and 2 Demon Emperor experts from the Yunxiao continent. One of the 2 Demon Emperor experts from the Yunxiao continent was the personal disciple of Demon Emperor Manhwa. Everyone, the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering is now approaching its end. The 3rd round Martial Gathering, which is also the final round, will determine the specific rankings of the top 10. As the 3rd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island spoke unhurriedly, the surrounding atmosphere was ignited by him. Many people widened their eyes, eagerly anticipating the start of the upcoming 3rd round Martial Gathering. The 3rd round Martial Gathering will involve a fierce elimination battle. Soon, everyone who entered the top 10 of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering received 9 specially made tokens from the 3rd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island. The rules for the final round of the Martial Gathering were simple. Anyone could issue a challenge to the other 9 people. Upon defeating the opponent, they would receive 1 token from the opponent's possession, and so on. Only the person who defeats 9 people, obtains 9 tokens, and collects a total of 18 tokens, can rank first in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. Furthermore, the 8 others cannot challenge those who have just fought a match in the next round. These are the general rules for the 3rd round Martial Gathering. The 3rd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island continued. There is one more thing I forgot to mention. In the 3rd round Martial Gathering, no one is allowed to kill each other. Stop once a point is reached. Given your strength, achieving this should not be difficult. Anyone who kills another will not only lose the qualification to continue participating in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, but their entire cultivation will also be crippled. I hope everyone avoids making a mistake. As he spoke, the 3rd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island's words clearly contained a hint of threat. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, the 3rd round Martial Gathering of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, which was also the final round, officially began. The 10 people, including Duan Lingtian, stood in various spots, their gazes sharp. For a long while, no one stepped forward first. Gradually, many spectators grew impatient. Why hasn't it started yet? Isn't it that after fighting 1 match, you can rest for the next? Why is everyone so passive? Hurry! If this delays any longer, it will be dark soon. More and more people urged the 10 individuals, including Duan Lingtian. Although Duan Lingtian heard these urging sounds, he completely ignored them, treating them as wind passing by his ears. However, someone still couldn't hold their patience and stepped out. Swoosh! A robust figure flew out in a flash, entering the arena. Dong Hu, the personal disciple of Martial Emperor Qiuli, the master of Chili Mountain. He had previously exchanged blows with Duan Lingtian and was defeated by him. Therefore, after entering the arena, he didn't even look at Duan Lingtian. Finally, his gaze locked onto Su Rong, the martial god's personal disciple of Yuhan Valley, and the only personal disciple of Yuhan Valley who had stepped into the Martial Emperor realm. As the only existence at the 1st level Martial Emperor realm among the 10 qualifiers, Dong Hu's strength was proven. This Su Rong practices the Ice God Sword art quite well. Dong Hu, once he fights her, should not last more than 30 breaths of time. Duan Lingtian had seen Su Rong's previous attacks and could naturally discern the depth of her strength. As for Dong Hu, having fought him, Duan Lingtian was even clearer about his strength. As someone who had undergone the fusion of reincarnation Martial Emperor's memories from 2 lifetimes, Duan Lingtian's eyesight was far beyond what ordinary people could compare to, just as he had expected. After Su Rong and Dong Hu fought for more than 20 breaths of time, Su Rong defeated Dong Hu. She obtained one of Dong Hu's tokens, becoming the first person to possess 10 tokens simultaneously. Dong Hu, having lost 1 token and only having 8 left, wore a bitter expression. Looking at the current situation, this time, I really might end up at the bottom. Dong Hu smiled wryly to himself. Although he felt somewhat helpless, he knew he had to accept this fact. After Su Rong defeated Dong Hu, the second match continued. Because Dong Hu was the first to enter the arena and issue a challenge, a second person quickly stepped up. It was one of the 2 individuals under martial god Qing Xian who entered the top 10. The youth in black who mastered the soul attack type, innate divine ability. After the youth in black entered the arena, the first person he chose was Lanbai from Thundercloud Peak. Being chosen by him, Lanbai's expression was unsightly, simply because she had no chance of victory against him. Fortunately, the third round martial gathering of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering strictly forbade killing. Otherwise, she truly wouldn't have the courage to fight the youth in black, because all his previous opponents had died. The weaker ones were killed by his primal force and profound truths. The stronger ones were killed by his soul attack type, innate divine ability. As soon as Lanbai entered the arena, before she could even move, she was affected by the innate divine ability unleashed by the youth in black. She froze for a moment, was blasted away by the youth in black, and was severely injured. The youth in black obtained one of Lanbai's tokens. The Mist Concealment Martial Gathering continued. Next to enter the arena was the personal disciple of the third island master of Mist Concealment Island, the young woman whose attacks had been vicious and bloody from start to finish. Before this, none of her opponents had survived either. However, killing was strictly forbidden in this round of the martial gathering. Unless she wanted her entire cultivation to be crippled, she would not kill again. Duan Lingtian raised an eyebrow, noticing that the young woman's gaze had fallen upon him. Does she want to challenge me first? Instantly, Duan Lingtian became vigilant. However, the young woman's gaze quickly moved away, landing on martial god Qing Xian's other personal disciple, locking onto him, and subsequently challenging him. Although both were existences at the third-level martial emperor realm, the match between the 2 quickly determined superiority. Every time the young woman attacked, it was as if she was fighting desperately, forcing martial god Qing Xian's personal disciple to retreat blindly until he was finally severely injured and defeated. The final round of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering grew increasingly intense. After a while, someone finally took the initiative to challenge Duan Lingtian. Among the 10 people ranked in the top 10, there were 3 who were most feared. They were the youth in black under martial god Qing Xian, the personal disciple of the third island master of Mist Concealment Island, and Duan Lingtian. Thus, few people dared to challenge these 3. Meanwhile, the youth in black and the third island master's personal disciple, that young woman, had taken the initiative to choose opponents multiple times, acting more frequently than Duan Lingtian. Because of this, Duan Lingtian hadn't stepped onto the field much earlier on, but eventually, someone chose him when they had no other choice. Dong Hu. He had already lost to 6 people. The remaining 3 were exactly the 3 most feared individuals, including Duan Lingtian. The youth in black under martial god Qing Xian might have slightly lower cultivation, but his soul attack, innate divine ability, was extremely profound and often caught people off guard. The third island master's personal disciple, that young woman, fought cleanly and efficiently. Her strength was comparable to an ordinary expert at the 4th level of the Martial Emperor realm. So far, neither of them had suffered a single defeat. As for Duan Lingtian, he hadn't stepped onto the field once, and no one had challenged him, so naturally, he had no losses. Dong Hu's challenge was the first time anyone had challenged him. This Dong Hu is truly bold. Yeah, he even dares to challenge Ling Xian Peak's Duan Lingtian. He's really courting death. The scene of Duan Lingtian forcefully killing Chen Ji was still fresh in everyone's minds, so most people felt Dong Hu was seeking his own doom by challenging Duan Lingtian. Perhaps Duan Lingtian wouldn't kill him due to the rules of the final round, but he certainly wouldn't come out of it well. However, as Dong Hu challenged Duan Lingtian, before Duan Lingtian could even move, the next scene caught most people by surprise. I concede. One moment Dong Hu challenged Duan Lingtian, and before Duan Lingtian could even step down, he immediately conceded. This was the first time such a situation had occurred in the final round of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, the challenger conceding cleanly and decisively. Immediately, some cursed Dong Hu for being a coward, while others praised him for knowing his place. Regardless, Duan Lingtian was credited with a win and obtained a token, his count increasing from 9 to 10. At the same time, among the remaining 8, a few others also had no choice but to challenge Duan Lingtian. They were like Dong Hu, having no other option. The second to challenge Duan Lingtian was the female disciple of Thundercloud Peak, Lan Bai. Lan Bai, with a cultivation at the second level of the Martial Emperor realm, had fought Duan Lingtian before, but because he had intentionally yielded, she had emerged victorious. In this battle, I hope you will give it your all. Lan Bai stared at Duan Lingtian and said in a heavy voice. Duan Lingtian had easily killed an opponent who had once defeated her, yet had intentionally lost to her, which had invited much gossip that infuriated her. Although she knew she was no match for him, she still hoped to lose with dignity. She had her pride. Give it my all. Duan Lingtian raised an eyebrow and gave Lan Bai a deep look. Seeing the seriousness in her eyes, he nodded. I will. In this battle, Duan Lingtian showed Lan Bai sufficient respect. He didn't use a spiritual artifact and struck with full force. Before Lan Bai could even react, she was sent flying by Duan Lingtian, heavily injured and defeated. Clean and decisive. Among those present, the only ones who could clearly see Duan Lingtian's movements were the third island master, the elders watching the spectacle, and the various Martial Emperor experts and Demon Emperor experts from the Yunxiao continent. This little fellow, he was actually holding back during his fight with Chunji. Demon Emperor Manhwa was pale with shock. Compared to Demon Emperor Manhwa's shock, Martial God Qing Xian was much calmer, watching with a peaceful expression from start to finish. Thank you. Despite being heavily injured and defeated by Duan Lingtian, Lan Bai felt no resentment toward him. She thanked him and withdrew. This Duan Lingtian. How could he have become so strong? Zhou Yi's face was grim. As a fellow Thundercloud Peak disciple, he knew Lan Bai's strength all too well. Yet, as strong as Lan Bai was, she couldn't even withstand a single blow from Duan Lingtian. For a moment, Zhou Yi felt a chill rise from the soles of his feet straight to his head. At this moment, he felt increasingly fortunate that he hadn't faced Duan Lingtian before Qinji did. Otherwise, he would surely be dead. Brother Lingtian's strength. Yang Hui's face was filled with horror. Although he knew Duan Lingtian was strong, he thought he had used his full power against Qinji. He hadn't expected him to be holding back. Brother Lingtian's current strength is likely not inferior to mine. Yang Hui's heart trembled as the thought occurred to him, and once it did, he couldn't suppress it. How much time has passed? Brother Lingtian has already grown to such an extent. In Yang Hui's heart, there was nothing but shock. Besides Kier and Li Fei, the only other person present who wasn't surprised by Duan Lingtian's strength was Martial God Yuhan. With his strength, only that anomaly under Martial God Qing Xian and the Third Island Master's personal disciple can threaten him. Yesterday, Martial God Yuhan had exchanged blows with Duan Lingtian. Thus, she had some understanding of his strength. Of course, if she knew that the person who broke her ice severing heaven and earth yesterday wasn't the old man in red robe but Duan Lingtian, she probably wouldn't think that way. After defeating Lan Bai, Duan Lingtian returned to the side of the two little girls. Suddenly, as if remembering something, he sighed. The battle with Lan Bai and her heroic figure made him think of Feng Tianwu. Wasn't Tianwu taken away by the Mist Concealment Island's first enshrined elder? With Mist Concealment Island holding such a grand event, logically, she should have come. However, from start to finish, Duan Lingtian saw no sign of Feng Tianwu. Brother Yang, do you know the first enshrined elder of Mist Concealment Island? Duan Lingtian looked at Yang Hui and asked. Of course, Yang Hui nodded. The first enshrined elder of Mist Concealment Island was once a famous martial god expert on our Yunxiao continent. His title is Redfire, and he's known as Martial God Redfire. He's considered an expert of the older generation. When he was famous throughout the inland of the Yunxiao continent, I had just broken through to the Martial Emperor realm. Why do you suddenly ask about him? Yang Hui asked curiously. Have you seen him? Duan Lingtian asked again. Once. Yang Hui nodded. Is he among the group of Mist Concealment Island elders watching? Duan Lingtian's eyes lit up as he asked with anticipation. Though he didn't know what Duan Lingtian was up to, Yang Hui looked toward the elders standing in the distance, scanning them one by one. He's not there. Finally, Yang Hui shook his head. Duan Lingtian felt a wave of disappointment. It seems Tianwu really didn't come. Perhaps she's currently in closed-door cultivation. Duan Lingtian guessed to himself. The final round of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering continued. Since the others had no choice, they could only challenge Duan Lingtian one after another. Duan Lingtian took on all comers, defeating them one by one. In the blink of an eye, Duan Lingtian gained 5 more tokens, including the ones from Donghu of Chioli Mountain and Lanbai of Thundercloud Peak. He had 7 tokens in total. He only needed 2 more tokens to rank first in today's Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. Meanwhile, the youth in black under martial god Qing Xian and the Third Island Master's personal disciple had also obtained 7 tokens each. In the final round of the martial gathering, any 2 people could only fight each other once. Thus, having 7 tokens meant they had each defeated 7 people. The top 3 of today's Mist Concealment Martial Gathering have emerged. Many looked on with anticipation, waiting for the battle for the top 3 to begin. As for the rankings from 4th to 10th, those were also clear. They just needed to wait for the gathering to end and hand in their tokens to determine the final standings. The onlookers formed a circle in the air. In the center of the Void Realm stood 3 people in a triangular formation. The 3 stood there with calm expressions, as if they wouldn't flinch even if Mount Tai collapsed before them. The air was thick with the scent of gunpowder. Finally, the personal disciple of the Third Island Master, that ruthless young woman, stepped forward, her gaze immediately locking onto Duan Lingtian. Is she going to challenge Duan Lingtian? Many people's hearts stirred as they speculated. Only Duan Lingtian didn't think she would challenge him first, as he didn't see any battle intent in her eyes. You avenged my junior sister, and for that, I am grateful. While I won't go easy on you, I can refrain from challenging you for now. Prepare yourself. Once I defeat him, I will fight you. A sinister yuan power sound condensation reached Duan Lingtian's ears. The voice was eerie enough to make one's skin crawl. However, Duan Lingtian showed no outward reaction and simply nodded to the young woman. Of course, he only appeared unfazed on the surface. His heart was filled with shock. Now he finally understood why the Third Island Master hadn't been angry after witnessing him kill Qinji, but had instead acted quite magnanimously. It turned out Qinji had once harmed a female disciple under him. Recalling Qinji's reputation on Mist Concealment Island, it was easy to guess what he had done. In that case, I really did help him get his revenge. Duan Lingtian thought to himself. Mist Concealment Island, East Island. I want to see the Second Island Master. An anxious voice drifted down from the horizon, breaking the tranquility of the valley. The Second Island Master is in closed-door cultivation. You can just tell me if there's anything. An aged voice rang out as an elderly man appeared, intercepting the anxious middle-aged man descending from the sky. The middle-aged man had a token hanging from his waist with the word core engraved on it. He was exactly a core disciple of Mist Concealment Island. Lung Yun. On the comms sea, a young woman with a stern face gazed at the young man opposite her and spoke unhurriedly. She was introducing herself. The fact that she introduced herself was enough to show that her opponent had earned her recognition. So her name is Lung Yun. For a moment, many people from Cloud-Soaring Continent suddenly understood. Lung Yun, the personal disciple of the Third Island Master of Mist Island, had once made it into the top 3 of the Mist Island Martial Arts Competition. The Mist Island Martial Arts Competition was open to anyone whose age could be measured by a Spirit Age Orb. The Spirit Age Orb could measure the age of anyone under 70. As everyone knew, once human martial artists cultivated to the Martial Emperor realm, they could maintain eternal youth, so judging age by appearance alone was not very reliable. As for demonic beasts, it was undoubtedly even more exaggerated. Once a demonic beast broke through to the Void Transformation realm, it would transform into a demon and could take human form, appearing as any age, even a 3-year-old child. Wang Yu, the young man, the strongest existence under Emperor Qing Xian, introduced himself in response to Lung Yun. As soon as Wang Yu finished speaking, Lung Yun had already moved. Under Duan Lingtian's gaze, Lung Yun took the initiative, not only unleashing all her power, but also summoning her quasi-emperor grade spirit weapon claws, which were tightly clasped to her hands. Buzz, 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 buzz. Wherever Lung Yun passed, Duan Ling Tian only heard a series of piercing sounds of sharp weapons cutting through the air as the claws on her hands shot out rays of light, transforming into a sky full of claw shadows. In the blink of an eye, Lung Yun arrived in front of Wang Yu, her claws whistling down, as if carrying the power to tear the sky, with an aggressive momentum. As an existence at the third-level Martial Emperor realm, Lung Yun's strength was inherently superior to Wang Yu's. Wang Yu was only at the second-level Martial Emperor realm. If he weren't an outlier, possessing a profound ability, he wouldn't have been able to make it into the top 3 of the Mist Island martial arts competition. Facing Lung Yun, who was stronger than him and approaching aggressively, Wang Yu remained exceptionally calm. When Lung Yun moved, soaring through the air like a sharp arrow, he remained rooted to the spot, showing no intention of dodging, but his eyes suddenly narrowed. Profound ability. The moment before Lung Yun approached him, he used his spiritual energy to activate his profound ability, and the eerie Black Lotus reappeared, meeting the aggressively approaching Lung Yun. When Lung Yun reached Wang Yu, the Black Lotus was also within a hair's breadth of her. Lung Yun's pupils suddenly contracted. At this moment, she was confident that she could severely injure Wang Yu the moment the Black Lotus entered her body. However, because she couldn't kill anyone, she wasn't confident that she could make Wang Yu lose his ability to attack her after severely injuring him. So, she chose to evade. She's going to lose. Duan Ling Tian shook his head. He had seen Lung Yun's predicament clearly. If her attack had landed, severely injuring Wang Yu would have been easy, and she might even have made him lose the ability to fight again. But because she was wary of Wang Yu's profound ability, she chose to evade. Profound abilities aren't something you can just dodge. Duan Ling Tian knew this all too well, because, in the memories of the reincarnated Martial Emperor from 2 lifetimes, he had encountered outliers who possessed soul-attacking profound abilities more than once. Therefore, he knew how terrifying such profound abilities were. Just as Duan Ling Tian had thought, Lung Yun regretted her decision to give up attacking Wang Yu and intentionally evade. She discovered that the Black Lotus not only moved faster and faster, but also clung to her like a persistent shadow, refusing to let go, following her closely no matter which direction she dodged. Sky-rending profound claws. Soon, Lung Yun realized that if she continued like this, she would only be at a disadvantage. So, she quickly tried to remedy the situation and attacked Wang Yu again. Claws tore through the air, and a sky full of claw shadows whistled. Unfortunately, this time, Wang Yu had already dodged early, causing her to miss. By this time, the Black Lotus's speed had caught up with Lung Yun's speed. Not only that, its speed was still increasing. This was precisely the marvel of profound abilities. Once unleashed, their speed was on a completely different level from the speed of the person who cast them. Unless one's strength far surpassed that of the outlier, it was almost impossible to dodge the profound ability they unleashed. Duan Ling Tian knew this from the memories of the reincarnated Martial Emperor. It was precisely because of this that he felt Lung Yun would lose. Because of a wrong choice, Lung Yun ultimately lost, and she lost completely. After several speed increases, the Black Lotus finally caught up to her, merging into her body, causing her to lose focus for a moment. And just as she was disoriented, Wang Yu made his move and defeated her. Wang Yu victorious. Is this the power of a soul-attacking profound ability? What a terrifying profound ability. It's on a completely different level from the auxiliary profound abilities of the other outliers. That's natural. Today, among the outliers with profound abilities, only Wang Yu made it into the top 3. After Wang Yu defeated Lung Yun, many people discussed, marveling at the terrifying profound ability he possessed. Master, I've disappointed you. Lung Yun returned to the 3rd island master of Mist Island, lowering her head in shame. It's also my fault for not reminding you beforehand. However, a fall into the pit, a gain in your wit. I hope you remember today's lesson. Soul-attacking profound abilities are not something you can simply dodge. The 3rd island master said, not intending to blame Lung Yun. At the same time, the 3rd island master loudly announced, take a 15-minute break. After 15 minutes, the final round of the martial arts competition will continue. Brother Ling Tian, are you confident? Even if I were to face that Wang Yu myself, I wouldn't dare say I could definitely win against him. Yang Hui asked Duan Ling Tian. By the end, his face was full of apprehension. Duan Ling Tian smiled. You'll know if you just watch, won't you? Wang Yu, this Duan Ling Tian is not simple. If you deal with him the same way you dealt with Lung Yun, you will definitely lose. Wang Yu, who was resting nearby, heard a clear voice condensed from elemental energy in his ear. He recognized it as the voice of his master, Emperor Qing Xian. Master, I understand. Wang Yu quickly responded, and when he looked at Duan Lingtian again, he murmured, You absolutely must not lose to Lung Yun. Otherwise, I'll be disappointed. 15 minutes passed quickly. This time, it was Lung Yun who took the stage. After the previous rest, Lung Yun's injuries had completely recovered. Now, Lung Yun could only choose Duan Lingtian as her opponent. Facing Duan Lingtian, who soared out and stood in confrontation with her, Lung Yun slowly spoke. Lung Yun. Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian responded in due course. Duan Lingtian, I will not go easy on you just because you avenged my junior sister, Lung Yun said, her voice condensed with elemental energy. Whatever. Duan Lingtian responded indifferently, a smile on his face. His indifference, however, angered Lung Yun, causing a flicker of fury in her eyes. Immediately after, without any hesitation, she activated her movement martial skill, charging towards Duan Lingtian. The quasi-emperor grade spirit weapon claws in her hand tore through the air as she once again unleashed the sky-rending profound Een claws. The sky-rending profound Een claws was a high-grade heaven-level offensive martial skill. Lung Yun had already cultivated it to the perfect mastery realm. It was precisely because of this that she could, with her bare hands, brutally tear out a person's heart from their chest. Now, with the quasi-emperor grade spirit weapon claws, the power of the sky-rending profound Een claws further increased, reaching a whole new level. Buzz, 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 buzz. As Lung Yun charged at Duan Lingtian, she resembled a giant eagle descending, accompanied by a sky full of claw shadows, as if to tear Duan Lingtian to shreds. The claws tore through the air, stirring up gusts of fierce wind that swept down overwhelmingly, enveloping Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian's purple robes billowed and flapped loudly. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, facing Lung Yun's overwhelming attack, Duan Lingtian stood rooted to the spot, his feet not moving an inch. And under the gaze of a group of powerful martial emperors and demonic emperors, Duan Lingtian casually took out a sword, which instantly split into 9, swirling around his body. Suddenly, the 9 swords rotating around Duan Lingtian's body all shot out at once. 9 tribulations, sword control art. 9 dragon inch flash. Facing the claw shadows formed by Lung Yun's sky-rending profound Een claws, a sky full of claw shadows that seemed capable of tearing everything apart, Duan Lingtian's mind stirred, and he immediately unleashed 2 sets of high-grade heaven-level offensive martial skills. Both high-grade heaven-level offensive martial skills, either one, were no weaker than Lung Yun's sky-rending profound Een claws. Boom, 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 boom. A series of deafening roars suddenly erupted. It was the collision of Duan Lingtian's attack and Lung Yun's attack, which, while creating a series of loud noises, also generated rolling shockwaves that swept out, raging in all directions. Immediately, the surrounding crowd felt a gust of strong wind blowing in their faces, and those with weaker cultivation were even blown far away. More people were forced to retreat repeatedly. What profound martial skills! The 2 martial skills unleashed by Duan Lingtian, with 9 swords appearing simultaneously, transforming into 81 divine dragons, and then shooting out 162 extreme-inch flashes, shocked the martial emperors and demonic emperors present. Bang! Soon, a loud bang was heard, attracting everyone's attention. Many martial emperors and demonic emperors clearly saw that after Duan Lingtian blocked Lung Yun's sky-rending profound Een claws, he shook the sword in his hand, and the flat side of the blade struck out. The flat side of the blade struck out, as if divinely aided, like a collapsing mountain, pressing down on Lung Yun. Lung Yun had no time to react, and was hit by the force from the flat side of the sword in Duan Lingtian's hand. After a loud bang, her entire body shot out like an arrow from a bow, looking extremely disheveled. Wah! As Lung Yun flew out, she spat out mouthfuls of clotted blood, her already pale face becoming even more ashen. The outcome was decided. From confronting Lung Yun to defeating her, Duan Lingtian stood rooted to the spot, his feet not moving an inch, from beginning to end. This also left the onlookers inexplicably shocked. Wang Yu. After defeating Leng Yun, before the onlookers could react, Duan Lingtian looked directly at Wang Yu, his 9 swords merging into one, landing in his hand. Sword points to first place. Standing still, his feet not moving an inch, he used his mental energy to control his sword and execute a sword skill, defeating Leng Yun, a Martial Emperor Realm 3rd level expert, in one fell swoop. Duan Lingtian's strength once again shocked everyone. His strength is probably no less than that of an ordinary Martial Emperor Realm 4th level martial artist. That's natural. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to defeat Leng Yun in such a short time. One after another, fervent gazes fell upon Duan Lingtian, filled with surprise and shock. However, soon, these gazes changed again, turning into anticipation. Today, the 3rd place in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering goes to Leng Yun. Now, all that's left is the final battle between Duan Lingtian and Wang Yu to determine the first place. The first place of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering was about to be decided, and everyone present was looking forward to it. Amazing, truly amazing. Barbarian Demon Emperor sighed, looking at Martial Emperor Qingxian. Qingxian, Wang Yu is your most favored personal disciple. Do you think he can defeat that Duan Lingtian? Hard to say. Martial Emperor Qingxian shook his head. Even you have no confidence in Wang Yu. Barbarian Demon Emperor was startled. If he were against anyone else, I would have confidence in him. But this Duan Lingtian. Martial Emperor Qingxian didn't continue speaking, but the look in his eyes when he gazed at Duan Lingtian clearly held a hint of complexity and apprehension. He couldn't see through this youth in purple robes. Everyone present focused their gazes on the 2 young men who were facing each other. Duan Lingtian calmly looked at Wang Yu, this anomaly who possessed a soul attack type, innate divine ability. He didn't know when. A bow appeared in his hand. The bow's body was as black as ink, its string crimson, and wisps of blood-red mist permeated its surroundings, emitting waves of a bloody aura. It seems that the sword is not what he excels at. He specializes in the bow. Wang Yu mused as he watched Duan Lingtian holding the powerful bow. Wang Yu secretly thought, without knowing when, Duan Lingtian raised his right hand, and the milky white origin energy pulsed, instantly transforming into a 5-colored power, exuding waves of fierce aura. A moment later, the 5-colored power condensed, forming an arrow, its entire body exuding a sharp sword chi, like a keen sword rather than an arrow. Let's begin. Duan Lingtian looked at Wang Yu, his tone calm. Now, the power on Wang Yu's body also surged, his movements no slower than Duan Lingtian's. Hearing Duan Lingtian's words, he nodded, his suddenly focused gaze flashing with extremely strange brilliance. At the same time, the 5-colored arrow condensed in Duan Lingtian's right hand landed on the powerful bow in his left hand, naturally knocking onto the bowstring. Creak, creak, as a series of strange sounds rang out. Duan Lingtian drew the bowstring, forming a full moon, and his eyes stared directly at Wang Yu, his pupils suddenly contracting. Innate divine ability. As a sharp glint flashed in Wang Yu's eyes, a black lotus appeared out of thin air, transforming into a black lightning bolt, shooting straight at Duan Lingtian with fierce momentum. In a flash, the black lotus had covered half the distance, getting closer and closer to Duan Lingtian. At the same time, Duan Lingtian's already narrowed pupils contracted further, and he released the arrow formed by his own power from his hand. Taiyan Meteor Arrow. As a clang sound rang out, the air around the vibrating bowstring rippled, like a calm lake with ripples spreading out from a stone. Whoosh! The 5-colored arrow pierced through the air, exuding waves of fierce aura that swept outwards. Is he crazy? And just as the arrow shot out, this thought immediately popped into the minds of 2 of the only 3 people who could fully see the arrow's trajectory. These 2 were the 3rd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island and the Barbarian Demon Emperor. As for the remaining 3rd person, it was Martial Emperor Qingxian. The 3rd Island Master of Mist Concealment Island and the Barbarian Demon Emperor lost their composure, even thinking Duan Lingtian was crazy, because the arrow Duan Lingtian shot was not aimed at Wang Yu himself. The arrow that pierced through the air was aimed directly at the Black Lotus, which was the innate divine ability unleashed by Wang Yu. The remaining group of Martial Emperor experts and Demon Emperor experts, although they couldn't fully see the trajectory of Duan Lingtian's arrow, quickly caught some glimpses. Soon, They confirmed that the arrow Duan Lingtian shot was indeed aimed at the Black Lotus that was attacking him through the air. Doesn't he know that origin energy and profound truths cannot touch innate divine abilities? To shatter an innate divine ability, one must use extremely powerful mental energy to have any chance of success. This Duan Lingtian is truly crazy. Does he think he can break an innate divine ability like this? In a flash, many people had various thoughts in their minds. Most of these thoughts were mocking Duan Lingtian's naivety, and some even curled their lips into a sneer. However, the sneers on their lips quickly froze. This was because they clearly saw that as the fleeting five-colored arrow swept past, the Black Lotus was directly shattered and then vanished without a trace. How is that possible? Immediately, a group of people couldn't help but exclaim, "How is that possible?" Even Wang Yu, who had unleashed his innate divine ability and condensed the Black Lotus to attack Duan Lingtian, was momentarily stunned, unable to fully grasp what had just happened. Originally, he already had a plan to deal with Duan Lingtian. After unleashing his innate divine ability, when Duan Lingtian made his move, he would immediately use his movement martial skill at full speed to evade Duan Lingtian's attack as much as possible. As long as his innate divine ability was effective and he wasn't defeated, he would be in an invincible position. But now, whoosh, as a gust of wind assailed his face, Wang Yu's expression changed drastically, and the power on his body, which had just begun to wane, surged again. He immediately wanted to flee. Too late. And just then, a voice entered Wang Yu's ears. Although the voice was calm and devoid of emotion, at this moment, it sounded like the voice of a demon to Wang Yu, sending shivers down his spine. Bang! Soon, Wang Yu heard a loud bang, accompanied by intense pain radiating from his chest to all parts of his body. Immediately after, he felt himself flying out, as if soaring through the clouds. The sweetness in his throat became more urgent, causing him to cough up several mouthfuls of stagnant blood. It was Duan Lingtian, who, while Wang Yu was momentarily distracted, used the movement martial skill Dragon Soaring 9 Heavens to appear before him, striking out with a palm and effortlessly sending him flying. Wang Yu flew over 100 meters before stabilizing himself, his figure disheveled and his face even paler. As he took out a healing medicinal pill and consumed it, the outcome was decided. Duan Lingtian won, earning the honor of first place in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. For a time, the entire venue erupted in cheers, especially the group from Lingxian Peak. From Martial Emperor Lingxian Yanghui downwards, everyone's faces were filled with smiles. After all, Duan Lingtian represented their Lingxian Peak in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, sharing their honor and disgrace. As Duan Lingtian cleanly defeated Wang Yu, everyone's gazes collectively fell upon him, making him the focus of attention throughout the venue. This Duan Lingtian is truly a monster. Indeed, whether it was defeating Leng Yun or Wang Yu, he didn't take long. His strength is immense, completely beyond our imagination. I can't believe Chun Ji still wanted to kill him. He truly overestimated himself. The onlookers discussed animatedly. Various topics revolved around the strength Duan Lingtian had just displayed. Soon, a Martial Emperor expert was the first to react, exclaiming in a low voice, "I wonder how he managed to break the innate divine ability unleashed by Wang Yu. Yes, I still can't figure out that arrow. Just one arrow, shattering Wang Yu's innate divine ability, like a stroke of genius. Soul attack type innate divine abilities, by rights, shouldn't be touched by origin energy and profound truths, let alone broken. Duan Lingtian's arrow is extraordinary." More and more people were shocked by Duan Lingtian's arrow, an arrow as if divinely aided. Some with lower cultivation, who originally couldn't discern anything, now understood what Duan Lingtian had done before defeating Wang Yu. After hearing the discussions of many Martial Emperor experts, the archery skill he just displayed seems somewhat familiar. Martial Emperor Yuhan frowned. She felt that the archery skill Duan Lingtian had just used gave her a familiar feeling, but she couldn't recall it for a moment. Of course, it wasn't that she truly couldn't remember. Rather, she found it difficult to connect the arrow that broke her ice severing heaven and earth yesterday with the archery skill Duan Lingtian had just displayed. This was because yesterday's arrow was even more terrifying. The reason it was more terrifying was that Duan Lingtian had simultaneously used an arrow at the Emperor grade spiritual artifact level. Today, he held back, only using his own power to condense an arrow for attack. Martial emperors and demon emperors who recommended those in the top 10 of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. Step forward to collect what is due to you. As for those who participated in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering and ranked within the top 30, rewards will be distributed uniformly in 10 days. Just as most people's attention was focused on Duan Lingtian, the third island master of Mist Concealment Island spoke loudly, causing gazes to shift away from Duan Lingtian. Immediately, the martial emperors and demon emperors who had recommended individuals in the top 10 of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering each received a storage ring from the third island master of Mist Concealment Island. Our rewards will only be issued in 10 days. One person who ranked within the top 30 of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering frowned, somewhat displeased, while the other individuals who ranked within the top 30 of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering were feeling frustrated. Duan Lingtian received a storage ring from Yang Hui. After recognizing it with a drop of blood, he could see 10 small, white glowing stones quietly lying inside. These are saint stones. Duan Lingtian was startled. I remember, in the storage ring of Chunji, the second island master of Mist Concealment Island's only son, there were also 2 such small stones. Who killed my son? A sudden roar of anger came from afar, like a clap of thunder, interrupting Duan Lingtian's thoughts. Accompanying the roar that sounded like thunder was an old man past 70 years of age, dressed in a silver robe, his demeanor imposing even without anger. At this moment, his face was covered in evil chi. As soon as the old man in silver robe appeared, everyone present could feel the tension filling the air. Second Island Master. A group of core disciples and inner island disciples of Mist Concealment Island couldn't help but exclaimed softly upon seeing the old man in silver robe. Second Island Master. The second Island Master of Mist Concealment Island. Immediately, everyone, whether they were from Mist Concealment Island or the group from Yunshao Continent, knew the identity of the newcomer. The second Island Master of Mist Concealment Island, Chen Bei. He was also the father of Chen Ji, the core disciple of Mist Concealment Island who was recently killed. Thinking of Chen Ji, many people's gazes quietly fell upon Duan Lingtian. The one who killed Chen Ji was precisely Duan Lingtian. It was you who killed my son. As the second island master of Mist Concealment Island, Chen Bei's observational skills were astonishing. In the blink of an eye, he followed the gazes of many people present and discovered Duan Lingtian. When he looked at Duan Lingtian, his eyes flashed with chilling, killing intent. Duan Lingtian, however, was calm, seemingly unsurprised. But the group from Lingxian Peak, led by Yang Hui, all changed color. Even Kier and Li Fei were now sweating bullets for Duan Lingtian. The hatred for a murdered son is irreconcilable. They knew clearly. This second island master of Mist Concealment Island had come seeking vengeance for his son. If he tried to kill me, am I not allowed to kill him? Facing the menacing Chen Bei, Duan Lingtian replied calmly, his expression light and unconcerned. If my son wanted to kill you, the wisest choice would have been to submit willingly. That way, only you would have died. Unfortunately, you made the most foolish choice. Since you killed my son, I will wipe out your entire clan. Chen Bei said coldly. After killing you, I will kill your family, and even all your relatives and friends. As soon as Chen Bei said this, there was an uproar. Even the people of Mist Concealment Island felt that Chen Bei was being overly tyrannical. His son wanted to kill someone, and the victim was supposed to just submit? What kind of logic was that? Duan Lingtian's calm expression finally changed, turning gloomy. At this moment, he felt even more deeply. The strong rule was not merely an iron law of the Yunshao continent. Even after leaving the Yunshao continent and arriving at this overseas holy island, the supreme principle of the strong rule still applied. Second Island Master. Just as killing intent surged in Chen Bei's eyes, his silver robe fluttering, and he prepared to attack Duan Lingtian, the third island master of Mist Concealment Island stepped forward and blocked Chen Bei's path. Fangwen, are you going to stop me? Chen Bei asked coldly, his gaze fixed on the third island master of Mist Concealment Island before him. Fangwen was the name of the third island master of Mist Concealment Island. Second Island Master, I know you want to kill him, but there is one thing I must remind you of. He is the first place winner of this Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. You should know what that means. Fangwen ignored the cold glint in Chen Bei's eyes and spoke indifferently. So what? All I know is that he killed my son and must pay with his life. Right now, I am not killing him as the second island master of Mist Concealment Island. I am killing him as a father. The cold light in Chun Bei's eyes intensified. While I am here, I won't let anything happen to him. Fong Wen shook his head. If that's the case, I'll kill you too. Don't think I don't know. The reason you didn't stop him when he killed my son is that you haven't forgotten the hatred of the past. Chun Bei's silver robe fluttered even more violently, and his killing intent soared into the sky. Ridiculous. In the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, aside from the competition for the top 10, life and death are irrelevant. Before the top 10 competition, your son Qinji wasn't the only one who died. Qinji was killed because his skill was inferior. What does that have to do with me? Fong Wen sneered. Boom. Just as Fong Wen finished speaking, Chun Bei's rage could no longer be suppressed. It roared forth. His silver robe fluttered violently to the extreme, as if a silver flame had ignited, and vast power surged around his body, emitting waves of terrifying aura. The group of experts from the Yunxiao continent, especially those below martial god Qingxian and demon god Manhwa, all changed color. They could all clearly perceive Chun Bei's immense strength. He is at least above the 8th level of the Martial Emperor realm. Demon god Manhwa's heart skipped a beat. If the second island master of Mist Concealment Island makes a move, Duan Lingtian is certain to die. However, his presence here now is unexpected. Well, with the third island master of Mist Concealment Island blocking him, he shouldn't be able to kill Duan Lingtian quickly. Since that's the case, let me do the honors. In the depths of martial god Yuhan's eyes, the flames of greed ignited. She never forgot her goal, the storage ring in Duan Lingtian's hand. Now, his storage ring contains more than just the treasures he left behind during his second life as the reincarnation Martial Emperor. Just now, Martial Emperor Lingxian also handed him the storage ring containing the Saint Stone. He casually put that storage ring into his own storage ring. Others might not have noticed all this, but Martial God Yuhan, who had been staring at Duan Lingtian the entire time, naturally saw it clearly. Originally, she planned to wait until everyone dispersed before making a move to kill Duan Lingtian and seize the storage ring in his hand. The appearance of Chun Bei, the second island master of Mist Concealment Island, forced her to act sooner. Now, she was just waiting for the two great island masters of Mist Concealment Island to clash. Once they did, it would surely draw everyone's attention. And at that moment, she would strike to kill Duan Lingtian and seize his storage ring. Thinking of this, Martial God Yuhan couldn't help but feel a little excited. Chun Bei, you actually dare to attack? Don't forget what today's Mist Concealment Martial Gathering is for. If you ruin the important matter, the great island master will not forgive you. Seeing Chun Bei begin to build momentum, ready to strike at any moment, Fong Wen's face darkened. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Almost immediately after Fong Wen finished speaking, several swift figures darted out, landing beside Fong Wen and jointly blocking Chun Bei's path. This scene startled most people, except for Duan Lingtian. The group blocking Chun Bei's way alongside Fong Wen were none other than a group of elders from Mist Concealment Island. We asked the second island master to reconsider. The group of Mist Concealment Island elders said to Chun Bei in unison. Their voices converged, sounding like a clap of thunder. Just as most people were shocked and confused, Duan Lingtian's eyes suddenly narrowed, and he muttered to himself. It's exactly as I guessed. The Mist Concealment Martial Gathering isn't that simple. In fact, ever since he first heard of the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, he had suspected it wasn't so simple. As for the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, setting aside the rewards for the top participants, even the rewards for the recommenders were enough to make Duan Lingtian ponder. Saint Stones can help Emperor Realm experts increase their cultivation. Their preciousness is self-evident. Yet Mist Concealment Island offered Saint Stones to lure the martial god experts and demon god experts of the Yunxiao continent to bring people to Mist Concealment Island to participate in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. After going through so much trouble, who would believe that Mist Concealment Island has no ulterior motive? Duan Lingtian remembered. Back when he was still in the southern outer land of the Yunxiao continent, he had struggled for several years for the 10 Dynasties Martial Assembly and finally won the honor of first place. The 10 Dynasties Martial Assembly was organized by the Azure Wolf Fortress in the northern desert region using large quantities of intent fragments to tempt the 10 great dynasties to gather young experts to participate. Azure Wolf Fortress was willing to offer intent fragments and host the 10 dynasties' martial assembly precisely for the Martial Emperor's secret treasure. If it weren't for the Martial Emperor's secret treasure, Azure Wolf Fortress would not have hosted the 10 dynasties' martial assembly. Azure Wolf Fortress hosted the 10 dynasties' martial assembly, paying a large amount of intent fragments, but its ultimate goal was the profundity fragment. The profundity fragments inside the Martial Emperor's secret treasure. Having this experience, Duan Lingtian naturally knew there was no such thing as a free lunch in the world. Today's Mist Concealment Island was like the Azure Wolf Fortress of the past. Today's Mist Concealment Martial Gathering was like the 10 Dynasties Martial Assembly of the past. Mist Concealment Island must also have an agenda, just like Azure Wolf Fortress. Precisely because he thought of this, Duan Lingtian did not hesitate when killing Chunji. He was not surprised by the appearance of Chun Bei, the second island master of Azure Wolf Fortress, or his seeking revenge. He had even guessed this scene would happen long ago, but he wasn't worried, because he knew that as long as he displayed his value at the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, he would naturally be highly valued by Mist Concealment Island. Once that happened, his value to Mist Concealment Island would be immense. Mist Concealment Island would never sacrifice him before achieving the goal for which they hosted the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. Now, by relying on his own strength to rank first place in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, he had proven his value to the maximum extent. Therefore, he wasn't worried that Chun Bei could kill him. Of course, even if Mist Concealment Island protected him for some purpose, he planned to quietly leave Mist Concealment Island and escape its constraints once this Mist Concealment Martial Gathering concluded. He didn't know why, but he felt that Mist Concealment Island's purpose was not as simple as Azure Wolf Fortress's purpose back then. He had an ominous feeling that if he stayed on Mist Concealment Island and allowed himself to be manipulated by them, something bad might happen. Once I leave Mist Concealment Island, even if I lose its protection, Chun Bei might not necessarily be able to find me. Duan Lingtian thought inwardly. This was his plan from the very beginning. Precisely because of this, he had no hesitation when killing Chunji, nor did he experience much emotional fluctuation. He had prepared his escape route long ago. Do you think you can stop me? Facing the obstruction from Fong Wan, the third island master of Mist Concealment Island, and the group of Mist Concealment Island elders, Chun Bei's eyes narrowed, and he asked coldly, "Umph." Just as Chun Bei was about to attack Fong Wan and the others, a cold snort, seemingly originating from all directions, entered everyone's ears, causing all hearts to tremble inexplicably. That is, Duan Lingtian looked up slightly, and upon seeing the scene high in the sky, his pupils suddenly contracted, and a look of horror appeared on his face. What appeared in front of Duan Lingtian was a colossal human-shaped silhouette, standing there like a small mountain. The apparition was an old man clad in a golden robe. At the center of his brow sat a golden mole, as though a tiny blazing sun were fixed there, dazzling to the eye. They couldn't stop you, but can I? The golden-robed elder's phantom eyes flashed, and his sharp gaze seemed to pierce the endless void and land on Chun Bei. Where the gaze fell, it felt like a boulder crashing down, crushing Chun Bei's face into a sudden change of color. Great Island Master. Chun Bei drew a deep breath and respectfully saluted the lofty silhouette, fear still lingering in his eyes as he stammered. Chun Bei would not dare. Great Island Master. At the same moment, below Third Island Master Fong, one of Mist Concealment Island, all the island's elders and disciples bowed toward the figure in the sky. Standing in the void, His Majesty was fully revealed. So he's the Great Island Master of Mist Concealment Island? This doesn't seem to be his real body. No idea what technique this is. I've long heard that the Great Island Master possesses unfathomable strength beyond ordinary imagination. Seeing it today, his fame is well-deserved. Terrifying. The real person hasn't even appeared. A mere phantom brings such overwhelming pressure, including the Martial Emperor and Demon Emperor experts of Yunshao continent. Everyone present felt the dreadfulness of the Great Island Master. He's the Great Island Master of Mist Concealment Island? What technique is this? Staring at the golden-robed figure in the sky, Duan Lingtian muttered, his heart filled with shock and doubt. This old man is a peak innate realm expert. One step further, and he enters the transcendent realm. Just then, A voice sounded from within Duan Lingtian, Wang Ba speaking. Peak innate realm? Duan Lingtian's pupils shrank. Exactly. In terms of your mortal continent, that's peak martial emperor. In Tao martial holy land, he's reached the pinnacle of the innate stage. Only one step away from beginning to transcend the mortal. Wang Ba continued. The method he's using now is called innate phantom body. Every innate peak martial cultivator can master it. Innate phantom body. Duan Lingtian nodded. What's the use of this innate phantom body? In Tao martial holy land, apart from confusing people, it's not very useful. But in places dominated by mortals, it's great for intimidation, just like now. Wang Ba added. So that's how it is. Duan Lingtian was suddenly enlightened. He could understand Wang Ba's words. Innate phantom bodies are common in Tao martial holy land, yet extremely rare on Yunshao continent or the overseas holy islands where mortals hold sway. Still, as Duan Lingtian looked again at the golden-robed elder high above, his heart remained full of awe. Peak martial emperor realm. This golden-robed old man, the great island master of Mist Concealment Island, was actually a peak martial emperor existence. The Mist Concealment Martial Gathering was probably arranged by him. For a peak martial emperor, what could he need us to do? This question puzzled Duan Lingtian endlessly. Just like years ago when the martial emperor's secret treasure opened in the northern desert region, forces like Azure Wolf Fortress, Blade Sword Sect, and Five Elements Sect recruited young powerhouses solely for the profundity fragments inside. All because experts of those sects couldn't enter the treasure vault. The martial emperor's secret treasure only allowed those under 40. This time the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering also has an age limit, under 70. Could a place similar to the martial emperor's secret treasure be opening? Thinking this, Duan Lingtian shook his head. It shouldn't be such a coincidence. Then what exactly does someone as mighty as the Great Island Master want us to do? He couldn't figure it out. You wouldn't dare? Is there anything you, Qinbei, wouldn't dare to do? At that moment, the golden-robed phantom in the sky spoke again, mocking Second Island Master Qinbei of Mist Concealment Island. Great Island Master, I only wish to personally slay the one who murdered my son. Qinbei drew a deep breath and said, Qinbei, although you didn't preside over the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, you were present when I set its rules. Do you need me to repeat them for you? The golden-robed elder asked, his tone turning as cold as ice. Great Island Master, it was Qinbei's folly. Qinbei looked panic-stricken and lowered his head like a child admitting fault before an adult. There are priorities in all matters. Remember, besides being Chunji's father, you are also the second island master of my Mist Concealment Island. After leaving those words, the golden-robed elder vanished. The human-shaped silhouette in the sky dispersed without a trace. Only then did most of the onlookers breathe a sigh of relief. The mere phantom of the golden-robed elder had left them breathless. Second Island Master, do you wish to continue? Fangwen looked at Qinbei and asked calmly. Humph. Qinbei gave a cold snort, stared at Duan Lingtian for a moment, then turned and left, disappearing before everyone's eyes. That Qinbei, looks like he still hasn't given up. Mist Concealment Island is no longer safe. For now, with the great island master of Mist Concealment Island stepping in, he shouldn't dare to kill me. But once I lose my value, neither the third island master of Mist Concealment Island nor the great island master will protect me. Then Qinbei will definitely strike and kill me. Duan Lingtian's heart sank. He planned to find a chance to leave in the next few days. The great island master of Mist Concealment Island is actually so terrifying. Duan Lingtian, now that he's taken first place in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering, has received his protection. Looks like I can only wait for another suitable opportunity to move against Duan Lingtian. Yuan Martial Emperor's face darkened slightly, a trace of dread showing in her eyes. Dread of that great island master of Mist Concealment Island. She had assumed that Duan Lingtian, by killing Qinji, had offended Mist Concealment Island and would not be sheltered by its experts. Only just now did she realize she was wrong. Looks like the purpose of Mist Concealment Island in holding the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering isn't so simple. At this moment, Yuan Martial Emperor also guessed something. Regardless, the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering ended just like that. Everyone dispersed one after another. 10 days later, rewards would be given to the top 30 ranked in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering. Apart from Duan Lingtian, the other 29 were all somewhat expectant. Brother Yang, here are 3 saint stones. take them. On the way back, Duan Lingtian raised his hand and passed Yang Hui a storage ring containing the 3 saint stones. Besides the 10 saint stones awarded for this mist concealment martial gathering, he had also obtained 2 more from Chunji's storage ring, making 12 in total. Therefore, he decided to give 3 to Yang Hui. After all, being able to come to Mist Concealment Island and participate in the Mist Concealment Martial Gathering was all thanks to Yang Hui. 3 saint stones. Yang Hui naturally wanted them, but in the end he politely refused. However, after Duan Lingtian insisted again and again, he finally accepted them and thanked Duan Lingtian sincerely. "Thank you, brother Lingtian." Intangibly, Yang Hui's bearing when facing Duan Lingtian lowered slightly. All of this was naturally because of the strength Duan Lingtian had displayed earlier. If before it had only been suspicion, then now Yang Hui could be certain. Duan Lingtian's strength was already not below his own. If they fought to the death, he might not even be a match for Duan Lingtian. After returning to the southern part of Mist Concealment Island, Duan Lingtian didn't rush to leave with Kier and Li Fei. The Mist Concealment Martial Gathering had just ended, and leaving it this time would undoubtedly be unwise. "Kier, Fei, in 5 days I'll take you off Mist Concealment Island and back to Yinshao Continent." After telling the 2 little girls, Duan Lingtian entered his room and began to cultivate. 9 dragons wore venerable art. Divine Dragon Transformation. Divine Dragon Transformation is the 9th and final transformation of the 9 dragons wore venerable art. According to Reincarnation Martial Emperor's memories, Divine Dragon Transformation could be cultivated all the way to the peak Martial Emperor realm. Divine Dragon Transformation is the mind cultivation technique I started cultivating from the Martial Emperor realm. Even if I can cultivate to the peak Martial Emperor realm, what about after the peak Martial Emperor realm? Peak Martial Emperor realm is only the innate peak of the Tao Martial Holy Land. After innate, there are still Transcendent Realm and Saint Entry Realm. After Saint Entry Realm, there's still Saint Realm. If, in the past, Duan Lingtian had still thought the Martial Emperor realm was the peak he could reach, then now he no longer thought so. His horizons were broader than before. This Saint Stone, Duan Lingtian raised his hand and took out a Saint Stone. He had long since learned from Yang Hui the effect of Saint Stones. They could rapidly boost one's cultivation. Holding the Saint Stone while cultivating, Duan Lingtian circulated the Divine Dragon Transformation mental method of the 9 dragons wore venerable art and could clearly feel a powerful force flowing from the Saint Stone into his body. It felt as if only a short while had passed when the bottleneck, which had been just 1 step away from breaking through to the 2nd level of the Martial Emperor realm, shattered. In the blink of an eye, the Yuan power inside Duan Lingtian's body changed. His cultivation smoothly stepped into the 2nd level of the Martial Emperor realm. "I broke through just like that." Duan Lingtian opened his eyes, his expression somewhat dazed. This breakthrough gave him a very unreal feeling. "It feels like this Saint Stone boosts my cultivation even faster than the Nirvana pill, but the consumption is also quick. In such a short time, nearly half has been used up." Duan Lingtian clearly saw that as his cultivation broke through to the 2nd level of the Martial Emperor realm, the Saint Stone in his hand dimmed a bit, having consumed quite a lot. "I wonder how long I've cultivated. Feels like only a day or 2. After stepping outside, Duan Lingtian learned from the 2 little girls that he had already cultivated for 3 days. No wonder they say time flies when cultivating. Looks like it's really true. Duan Lingtian sighed with emotion. After greeting the 2 little girls, Duan Lingtian left. Zhou, Lei Yunfeng and his group were residing in a spacious mansion situated in a jungle on the eastern side of South Island of Fogvale Island. This mansion was arranged for them by the people of Fogvale Island. Not far to the west of the mansion, a figure stood in the air, gazing from afar at the direction of the mansion through the patches of jungle. Zhou, this person was none other than Duan Lingtian, who had just arrived. Duan Lingtian had only one purpose in coming: to kill Zhou Yi and retrieve the demon sealing tablet from him. The demon sealing tablet was originally his. If he hadn't lost his sanity back then and left the demon sealing tablet in the Lost Stone Forest, it would still be in his possession even now. Now, he merely wanted to reclaim what was his. He had no good feelings towards Zhou Yi. If Zhou Yi hadn't taken Tian Wu away back then, he wouldn't have pursued them into the Lost Stone Forest. If he hadn't pursued them into the Lost Stone Forest, he wouldn't have forcibly used the demon sealing tablet and the side effects of using it for the third time nearly killed him. Even now, remembering it still sends shivers down his spine. However, Duan Ling Tian waited for a long time, but didn't see any sign of Zhou Yi leaving the mansion. Emperor Wu Leiming's strength is no less than Emperor Wu Yuhan's. Although I have now broken through to the second level of Emperor Wu realm, I have no confidence if I confront him. Duan Ling Tian was well aware of this. Otherwise, he wouldn't have chosen to wait here like a hunter waiting for prey. If he had the confidence to defeat Emperor Wu Leiming, he would have long since directly stormed into the mansion, dragged Zhou Yi out, killed him, and reclaimed the demon sealing tablet that rightfully belonged to him. After a while, Duan Ling Tian noticed someone emerging from the mansion. After clearly seeing who it was, his eyes, which had suddenly lit up, dimmed again. This was because the person was not Zhou Yi, but one of the other 9 Emperor Wu disciples brought by Emperor Wu Leiming. Just as the person was about to leave, a thought flashed through Duan Ling Tian's mind. Waiting for Zhou Yi like this is not a long-term solution. I'll start with him. Seeing the Lei Yunfeng disciple leave, Duan Ling Tian quietly followed him. Soon, he stopped the Lei Yunfeng disciple. Duan Ling Tian, what do you want to do? Upon seeing Duan Ling Tian, the Lei Yunfeng disciple looked wary. He felt a deep-seated fear towards this purple-clad young man who had won first place in the Fogvale martial competition 3 days prior. I just want to do business with you. Duan Ling Tian's eyes flashed as he spoke to the Lei Yunfeng disciple. What kind of business? The Lei Yunfeng disciple asked. You help me lure Zhou Yi out. After it's done, I'll give you 2,000 top-grade origin stones. How about it? Duan Ling Tian said. 2,000 top-grade origin stones. Upon hearing this, the Lei Yunfeng disciple's breathing became a little hurried. He was merely an ordinary Emperor Wu disciple under Emperor Wu Leiming, not a direct disciple. For him, 2,000 top-grade origin stones was already an immense fortune. Soon, the Lei Yunfeng disciple's breathing stabilized, and he said, Zhou Yi is a direct disciple of Emperor Wu. If I harm him, Emperor Wu will not let me off. 3,000 top-grade origin stones. Duan Ling Tian interrupted him. As long as you can lure him out without alerting anyone, I will kill him to eliminate future troubles. At that time, with no witnesses, who would know that you lured him out for me to kill? Duan Ling Tian continued. Good. When the Lei Yunfeng disciple heard Duan Ling Tian promise 3,000 top-grade origin stones, he could no longer suppress the greed in his heart and decisively agreed. Zhou Yi was already an object of his jealousy. Now, having an opportunity to set him up was beneficial and harmless to him. Here are 1,000 top-grade origin stones. Consider it a deposit. I will give you the remaining 2,000 top-grade origin stones after the deed is done. I must warn you, don't try any tricks, or even with Emperor Wu Leiming's protection, I can kill you on the spot. Duan Ling Tian's tone became threatening towards the end. 3 days ago, the importance Fogvale Island placed on me. I'm sure you saw it. To protect me, the Grand Island Master of Fogvale Island, an existence at the peak of the Emperor Wu realm, even personally intervened. Emperor Wu realm peak. The Lei Yunfeng disciple's pupils contracted, startled by Duan Ling Tian's words. 3 days ago, although he had noticed that the Grand Island Master of Fogvale Island was not simple, he hadn't expected him to be at the peak of the Emperor Wu realm. Such a powerful individual, if he wished, could probably kill their Emperor Wu Leiming of Lei Yunfeng in the blink of an eye. Go, Duan Ling Tian added. After the Lei Yunfeng disciple took the spatial ring containing 1,000 top-grade origin stones, he turned and went back to the mansion where Lei Yunfeng and his group were staying. As for Duan Ling Tian, he followed from a distance, hiding on one side of the mansion. I hope he can really lure Zhou Yi out. Hidden behind the jungle, gazing from afar at the direction of the mansion, Duan Ling Tian murmured. Not long after, Duan Ling Tian saw the Lei Yunfeng disciple appear, and with him, another person. Just by his back, he recognized that it was Zhou Yi. After the two appeared, they left the mansion and headed north. After confirming that no one was following them, Duan Ling Tian set off, following them from a distance. Not long after, he stopped them in a jungle far from the mansion. Zhou Yi. After appearing, Duan Ling Tian looked at Zhou Yi with a calm expression, his gaze icy and devoid of any emotion. Duan Ling Tian. Zhou Yi's face changed drastically. He hadn't expected to be so unlucky as to run into this ominous person, Duan Ling Tian, right after leaving the mansion. Whoosh! Just then, he saw Duan Ling Tian raise his hand and shoot a stream of light, which headed straight for him. Immediately, his yuan power and profound meanings surged, intending to block it. However, he quickly froze. This was because he saw the Lei Yunfeng disciple beside him catch the stream of light shot by Duan Ling Tian. And then he flew away, disappearing from his sight in a flash. When the stream of light approached him, he had already realized it was a spatial ring. At this point, he realized he had been tricked. Damn it, I didn't even guard against him. Now, he could roughly guess what was going on. It must have been that Lei Yunfeng disciple who had taken benefits from Duan Ling Tian and helped Duan Ling Tian lure him out. Thinking of the powerful strength Duan Ling Tian displayed before him 3 days ago, Zhou Yi felt a chill run from the soles of his feet up to the top of his head. Duan Ling Tian, what happened back then was my fault. However, it was Emperor Wu Shiqi who made me do it. He was the one who told me to capture Miss Tian Wu and take her to the Lost Stone Forest. Taking a deep breath, Zhou Yi looked at Duan Ling Tian, shifting all responsibility to Emperor Wu Shiqi. 3 days ago, before the Fog Veil martial competition began, I met Emperor Wu Shiqi. His strength was inferior to mine, and he was on the verge of death. To save his life, he told me everything. Duan Ling Tian glanced at Zhou Yi indifferently, speaking unhurriedly, including why you betrayed the Lost Stone Forest. Upon hearing Duan Ling Tian's words, Zhou Yi's face instantly changed drastically. Escape. Without any hesitation, Zhou Yi turned and fled. What a joke. Since Duan Ling Tian already knew everything, his purpose in coming here was not just to seek revenge for abducting Feng Tianwu back then. It was also for that mysterious stone tablet. If he stayed, not only would the mysterious stone tablet be taken, but he himself would also be killed. But could he escape? In a flash, Duan Ling Tian reappeared in Zhou Yi's path, blocking his escape. Duan Ling Tian, the item you want, I can. Zhou Yi's face changed again. He realized that he couldn't escape under Duan Ling Tian's nose, so he immediately thought of taking out the demon sealing tablet to beg Duan Ling Tian to spare his life. However, Duan Ling Tian had no intention of letting him finish speaking and directly interrupted. You don't need to say more. Today, you are doomed to die. As soon as his voice fell, Duan Ling Tian's figure moved, transforming into a 5-colored divine dragon, opening its gaping maw and lunging directly at Zhou Yi, as if to swallow him whole. No! Zhou Yi let out a desperate cry, his face filled with despair. Boom! And just as Zhou Yi cried out, he heard a loud bang beside his ear. Immediately after, a vast, surging shockwave hit him, sending him flying. Because Zhou Yi felt that he was certain to die, and defending or not defending would yield the same result, he did not deliberately try to defend against Duan Ling Tian's attack. It was precisely because of this that he was sent flying far away. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Completely disregarding the severe pain from the shockwave hitting his entire body, Zhou Yi spat out blood, while his face showed extreme joy. After the initial elation, he gradually calmed down. Logically, with Duan Ling Tian's strength, he should have been able to blast me to smithereens in just one move. But when Zhou Yi stopped his figure and looked into the distance, he found that another figure had appeared there, blocking Duan Ling Tian's path. Although the distance was great and the figure was somewhat blurry, he could still recognize it at a glance as the back of Emperor Wu Lei Ming. I hope he can kill Duan Ling Tian. Otherwise, as long as Duan Ling Tian is alive, he will always be a great threat to me, Zhou Yi thought to himself. However, Zhou Yi did not go over now. He merely watched from afar. This Duan Ling Tian, he shouldn't still be hiding his strength, right? Recalling how Duan Ling Tian gradually revealed his strength 3 days ago, shocking him repeatedly, an ominous premonition arose in his heart. No, I can't stay. Who knows if this Duan Ling Tian is still hiding his strength? If he really is hiding his strength, and his true strength can kill Emperor Wu Lei Ming, then wouldn't I be doomed? Escape. I must escape. Just in case, I must escape. Thinking this, Zhou Yi no longer hesitated, turned around, and fled into the distance. However, he had forgotten one thing. If Duan Ling Tian truly had the strength to defeat Emperor Wu Lei Ming, would he have bothered to expend extra effort to find someone to lure him out? Duan Ling Tian, what enmity do Zhou Yi and you have that you would kill him? Emperor Wu Lei Ming looked at Duan Ling Tian and asked in a deep voice. Duan Ling Tian did not answer Emperor Wu Lei Ming, because he saw Zhou Yi's receding figure. In his anxiety, he quickly moved, wanting to chase after Zhou Yi. No matter what, he couldn't let Zhou Yi escape. If Zhou Yi escaped back to the mansion where the Thundercloud Peak group was staying, it would be fine. But if he escaped from Misty Island into the vast land, how would he ever find Zhou Yi again, let alone retrieve the demon's sealing tablet? However, as soon as he moved, he was stopped by Emperor Wu Lei Ming. Get lost. Duan Ling Tian was burning with anxiety, only wanting to catch up to Zhou Yi, kill him, and retrieve the demon's sealing tablet. He didn't have time to think that the person blocking him was Emperor Wu Lei Ming, so he casually threw a punch. Boom! As the punch was thrown, it was as if mountains were collapsing and the earth was splitting. Duan Ling Tian's power transformed into a five-colored divine dragon, swiftly rushing out and crashing towards Emperor Wu Lei Ming. However, with a loud bang, Emperor Wu Lei Ming easily blocked Duan Ling Tian's attack. Not only that, after Emperor Wu Lei Ming's power crushed Duan Ling Tian's power, a large portion still remained, all of which slammed into Duan Ling Tian's body. Bang! Duan Ling Tian was predictably sent flying. The surging of his qi and blood within his body, and the intense pain from head to toe, made him fully react. He hastily took out an Emperor-grade revival pill and consumed it. In a short while, Duan Ling Tian's injuries were mostly healed. Emperor Wu Lei Ming, after stabilizing his figure, Duan Ling Tian's eyes were filled with extreme coldness. He would not allow anyone to stop him from killing Zhou Yi. Whoosh! A bow and arrow appeared out of thin air in Duan Ling Tian's hands. It was a set of Emperor-grade spirit weapon bow and arrows. With the bow and arrow in hand, he drew it into a full moon. Great Evolution Meteor Arrow. Without any hesitation, the ink-black arrow in Duan Ling Tian's hand shot out, like a black electric snake streaking across the sky. Its speed was so fast that Emperor Wu Lei Ming, who had initially been calm, changed his expression drastically. In a hurry, Emperor Wu Lei Ming took out his quasi-emperor-grade spirit weapon and unleashed his most powerful technique, barely managing to block the arrow shot by Duan Ling Tian. However, the residual force from the quasi-emperor-grade spirit weapon still caused his body to tremble violently. 3 days ago, he still wasn't using his full strength. When Emperor Wu Lei Ming looked at Duan Ling Tian again, his face was solemn, and his eyes were filled with apprehension and unease. And at this moment, Duan Ling Tian shot another arrow. This arrow was the same one as before. As soon as it returned to his hand, he shot it out again. After shooting one arrow, Duan Ling Tian showed no intention of stopping. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 more arrows shot out, aimed directly at Emperor Wu Lei Ming, as if he wouldn't give up until he killed Emperor Wu Lei Ming. No, with his strength, even if he uses an even more powerful high-grade heaven-rank martial skill, its might shouldn't be this strong. Emperor Wu Lei Ming, who was once again blocking the 3 arrows shot by Duan Ling Tian, had a flash of inspiration in his mind. Soon, he finally reacted. Saint-grade martial skill. That's right, it's a Saint-grade martial skill. Emperor Wu Lei Ming's face changed drastically as he realized this. At this moment, Duan Ling Tian, who had fired 3 consecutive arrows directly at Emperor Wu Lei Ming's vital points, also abandoned Emperor Wu Lei Ming and dashed towards the direction Zhou Yi had fled. The 3 arrows, after Emperor Wu Lei Ming dodged them one after another, returned to his hands. Zhou Yi, after flying for a moment, Zhou Yi's figure reappeared in Duan Ling Tian's sight. Swoosh! A piercing whistle of wind came from behind, clearly indicating that Emperor Wu Lei Ming was catching up. I don't care anymore. Even if I have to sacrifice an arrow, I must kill Zhou Yi. Feeling the urgency of time, Duan Ling Tian's eyes turned cold. With a raise of his hand, an arrow was placed on the string of his powerful bow, aimed at Zhou Yi's distant back. Stop! A thunderous voice came from behind Duan Ling Tian, getting closer and closer. Too late. Duan Ling Tian sneered, and the arrow in his hand whistled through the air, disappearing from sight in an instant. Almost at the moment he released his grip, he saw Zhou Yi, who was desperately fleeing, tremble and then fall, finally dead. Seeing this, Duan Ling Tian breathed a sigh of relief. He had great confidence in his archery skills. That arrow just now had pierced Zhou Yi through the heart. However, that Emperor-grade spirit weapon arrow had also completely disappeared. Because Zhou Yi was far from him, he couldn't retrieve the arrow that had killed Zhou Yi through the inscription array inscribed and set up on the bow and arrow. Although it was a pity, he didn't feel distressed. In his opinion, that arrow being able to kill Zhou Yi was a mission accomplished. One must know that that arrow not only killed Zhou Yi, but also left the demon sealing tablet for Duanling Tian. If the arrow was gone, he could find ink steel to refine another one. But if the demon sealing tablet was gone, it wasn't something he could refine at will. Boom, 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 boom. Just then, a series of rolling airwaves from behind startled Duanling Tian, causing him to hastily take out another arrow and shoot it from his bow. At the same time, Duanling Tian flew out, landing on the arrow and using the arrow's speed. He barely managed to dodge the thunderous strike from Emperor Wu Lei Ming, who had caught up. Duanling Tian, I didn't expect you to understand Saint-grade martial skills. In that case, don't blame me for being merciless. Emperor Wu Lei Ming roared, shaking his quasi-emperor grade spirit weapon, and a storm-like attack swept down, fierce and pressing towards Duanling Tian. Now, Emperor Wu Lei Ming, once he made a move, aimed to kill. He aimed to kill not just to avenge Zhou Yi. It was more because of the Saint-grade martial skill Duanling Tian had displayed. At Emperor Wu Lei Ming's level, he was particularly sensitive to certain things, just like Saint-grade martial skills. After confirming that Duanling Tian was using a Saint-grade martial skill, the first thought that came to his mind was not to ask Duanling Tian to hand over this Saint-grade martial skill, because he knew that Saint-grade martial skills could only be cultivated through Saint Scrolls. Moreover, anyone who could obtain a Saint Scroll must have a powerful individual behind them. That powerful individual was, in all likelihood, an existence at the peak of the Martial Emperor realm. Even if not, they would be close to the peak of the Martial Emperor realm, someone he couldn't afford to provoke. Therefore, after confirming that Duanling Tian was using a Saint-grade martial skill, the first thought that came to his mind was to kill Duanling Tian to silence him. Who knew if Duanling Tian would make that powerful individual target him in the future? With his life at stake, he couldn't take that gamble. Furthermore, after killing Duanling Tian, he could also confirm whether Duanling Tian had a Saint Scroll in his possession. If he had a Saint Scroll, it would undoubtedly be an extra great gain. Even if not, he would have avoided a life-and-death crisis. Kill. Now, Emperor Wu Lei Ming had only one thought in his mind: kill Duanling Tian to eliminate future troubles. Because he was determined to kill Duanling Tian, Emperor Wu Lei Ming attacked again, holding nothing back, forcing Duanling Tian to retreat steadily, facing constant dangers, and possibly losing his life at any moment. The Great Evolution Meteor Arrow. Although a Saint-grade martial skill, and even a high-grade human-rank Saint-grade martial skill, Duanling Tian had only grasped its superficial aspects. Facing Emperor Wu Lei Ming, an existence at the 5th level of the Martial Emperor realm, as time passed, he felt immense pressure. Am I, Duanling Tian, going to die here today? After being sent flying by Emperor Wu Lei Ming once again, his internal organs trembled, and Duanling Tian, who once again spat out a mouthful of clotted blood, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with a bitter expression. Wang Ba, you really can't help me? Duanling Tian asked Wang Ba, who was hidden within his body. Kid, there's no way. My soul cannot be born by your body. Once I possess your body will instantly explode into dust. At that time, both you and I will die. Wang Ba's voice came, tinged with helplessness. Also, my soul has no vessel, so I can't use soul attacks. Your soul can't directly attack his soul? Duanling Tian asked again. Kid, my soul can attack his soul, and can even shatter his soul. Wang Ba was interrupted by Duanling Tian here. Then why aren't you attacking? Kid, although I can shatter his soul with my own soul, I will then involuntarily possess his body. His body also cannot bear my soul, and will also explode into dust. Once his body explodes into dust, my soul will also be destroyed. I won't do something that's sending myself to death. Wang Ba added. He made it very clear. To save Duanling Tian, he could only choose to die with Emperor Wu Lei Ming. Of course, he was unwilling to do so. Duanling Tian, hearing this, temporarily gave up the idea of asking Wang Ba for help. As for Wang Ba's choice, he wasn't surprised. He and Wang Ba didn't have a life-and-death friendship, so it was only natural that Wang Ba wouldn't sacrifice himself for him. If he were in Wang Ba's position, he would also make the same choice as Wang Ba. Then after I'm killed, will you die? Duanling Tian asked. No, Wang Ba said. If you are killed by him, and not by my soul, the vitality within you will vanish, and my soul will not involuntarily possess your body. At that time, I can choose to enter his body and use his body as a host. Wang Ba added. Now, Duan Ling Tian completely understood. Even if he died, Wang Ba would not die. What a pity. Kid, if you could cultivate the great evolution meteor arrow to the next level, it wouldn't be difficult to fight him to a draw. Wang Ba sighed. Kid, don't blame me. Finally, Wang Ba added. No one wants to die when they can live, even if I am only a wisp of a residual soul now. Clearly, he didn't think Duan Ling Tian could survive. Although Duan Ling Tian felt that Wang Ba's choice was correct, he still felt a little uncomfortable. Once again sent flying by Emperor Wu Lei Ming, Duan Ling Tian, who no longer had the strength to fight, felt bitterness in his heart. Am I, Duan Ling Tian, truly going to die here today? Seeing Martial Emperor Lei Ming strike again, and with no time to draw or release his arrow, despair flashed in Duan Ling Tian's eyes. On this razor-thin line between life and death, familiar faces surfaced in his mind. The first to appear was someone even he hadn't expected. His mother in this life, Li Ro. Next came the two little girls, Kier and Li Fei, and Tian Wu. There were also the two small pythons, the little golden rat, his cheap old man, and one old friend after another, their voices and smiles vivid. Yet to Duan Ling Tian they now felt impossibly distant. He feared he would never see them again in this life. Farewell. With a silent sigh, Duan Ling Tian's heart turned to ash. Now Martial Emperor Lei Ming's figure was right before him. Duan Ling Tian could almost taste death's breath. Ready to meet his end. Duan Ling Tian suddenly realized the emperor's blow had never landed. Just as he froze in bewilderment, scram! A familiar, sharp cry rang out, startlingly abrupt. Immediately after, a tremendous force wrapped in biting cold surged past, not aimed at him, yet still blasting him away. Vast, rolling shockwaves rattled his organs and dazed his mind. He flew as if riding clouds and mist, only steadying himself long moments later. While tumbling through the air, inspiration flashed through Duan Ling Tian's mind. He seemed to grasp something. An archer pierces clouds and swallows mist, meets no resistance. This is the full introduction to the Taiyan meteor arrow scrolled through his thoughts. In that instant, many past confusions became crystal clear, all because of that cloud-riding sensation when the shockwave hurled him away. The sudden feeling granted him enlightenment. Enlightenment in the Taiyan meteor arrow, eyes flashing. With no time to see who had saved him, Duan Ling Tian swallowed an emperor-grade resurrection pill, raised his bow, and knocked an arrow. Creak! The bowstring quivered, drawn to a perfect full moon. Taiyan meteor arrow. The arrow vanished mid-air. When it reappeared, it was already behind the distant Martial Emperor Lei Ming. At Duan Ling Tian's thought, the shaft returned to his hand. At the same instant, a grisly hole gaped in the emperor's chest. Still looking toward the one who had saved Duan Ling Tian, he never sensed the shaft that pierced him through. Though it bordered on a sneak attack, only a mighty archer could have succeeded. Impossible. Blood dribbled from his lips. The swaying Martial Emperor Lei Ming stared at the far-off Duan Ling Tian, disbelief filling his face and eyes. He could not fathom how someone who moments earlier had been powerless beneath his hand, and nearly died, could unleash such power. He had never sensed that arrow coming. At last Martial Emperor Lei Ming closed his eyes and toppled, forever gone. Thus fell the famed Martial Emperor Lei Ming of Yunshao continent, slain by a youth. Even at the final flicker of consciousness, he could not understand. Why had the youth he'd nearly slain been able to fire such a fearsome shot? If the boy had possessed that strength from the start, he could at least have fought to a draw instead of being crushed without the least resistance. In truth, neither Martial Emperor Lei Ming nor Duan Ling Tian had seen it coming. That instantaneous enlightenment, that flash of insight pushed his Taiyan meteor arrow into a brand new realm, sending his strength soaring. Once the Taiyan meteor arrow advanced, his power rivaled Martial Emperor Lei Ming's. With the emperor's attention elsewhere, Duan Ling Tian's lightning-like shaft struck before the man could react. Watching the emperor fall to a single arrow, Duan Ling Tian stood stunned, staring at bow and shaft, unable to collect himself. Martial Emperor Lei Ming, equal of Emperor Yuan, ranked among the top 3 Martial Emperor experts on Yunshao continent, dead by his hand? For a moment Duan Ling Tian could scarcely accept it. Lingtian brother. Not far from where the emperor had plummeted, a girl hovered in the air, surprise coloring her pretty face as she looked toward him. Xuanai, hearing her voice, Duan Lingtian finally came back to himself and turned to the girl who had just saved him. Clad in yellow, she looked about 15 or 16, her sparkling eyes betraying a mischievous, restless spirit. A faint chill wreathed her frame. The yellow-clothed maiden was none other than Han Xuanai. Han Xuanai, who had come from Yunxiao continent. Lingtian brother, you actually know a saint-grade martial arts? A moment later, Han Xuanai reined in the frost she had been releasing and flashed to Duan Lingtian's side, eyeing him in surprise from head to toe before asking curiously, Xuanai, what brings you here? Duan Lingtian finally came back to his senses. When I couldn't find brother Lingtian on Yunxiao continent, I heard you'd come to Mist Concealment Island, so I followed. Brother Lingtian, you still haven't answered my question. Han Xuanai wrinkled her dainty nose. That saint-grade martial arts set was left to me by my father. While answering, Duan Lingtian studied her and asked, Xuanai, you once told me you stay this way because you cultivate a special cultivation technique. You've already broken through to the Martial Emperor realm. Can't you return to normal yet? I have to reach the transcendent realm first. Han Xuanai pulled a long face. Brother Lingtian, since you know saint-grade martial arts, you must understand the transcendent realm, right? Yes, I do. Duan Lingtian nodded, then seemed to remember something. Wait here a moment. The words had barely left his mouth before he shot off, removed the storage ring from Martial Emperor Lei Ming's corpse, and destroyed the body. Next, he took Zhou Yi's storage ring and disposed of him in the same way. After claiming Zhou Yi's ring with a drop of blood and confirming the demon sealing steel was inside, Duan Lingtian exhaled in relief. The demon sealing steel is finally back. When he stowed the ring and turned back to Han Xuanai, he froze. A new figure now stood beside her, a white-clothed little girl who looked no older than 10, eyes bright and lively. Yet when this white-clothed little girl looked at him, her delicately carved face brimmed with excitement. Recalling what Martial Emperor Shirqi had told him 3 days earlier, he guessed the child's identity. Brother Lingtian, can you guess who she is? Han Xuanai stepped forward with the girl and asked with a mischievous smile. Little white, I never expected you could take human form. Duan Lingtian sighed. I still remember the first time I met you. You were only this tiny. He greeted her while gesturing with his hands. Big brother. Seeing he had recognized her, the white-clothed little girl could no longer contain her joy and flew over, hugging him like a koala. To her, Duan Lingtian was her dearest family. From the moment she gained awareness, he had been by her side. As a newborn, she had even taken him for her father. A heartfelt smile spread across Duan Lingtian's face. He gently stroked her head. Little White, Kier will be so happy to see you. Sister Kier. Little White's eyes lit up. Big brother, where is Sister Kier? She's on Mist Concealment Island too. I'll take you to her in a moment. But why are only you and Xuanai here? Where are Little Gold and Little Black? As he spoke, he glanced around. So boring. You recognized me right away. Han Xuanai grumbled. Though past 20, she still had a child's playfulness. Big brother, how did you know it was me? Little White asked curiously. Han Xuanai also looked at him. His instant recognition had seemed uncanny. If Martial Emperor Shirqi hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known either. Duan Lingtian smiled and related his encounter 3 days earlier. So it was him. Both girls suddenly understood. Sister Xuanai, you and Little White should have finished off that Shirqi fellow. Now we can't keep any mystery at all. No fun. A disgruntled girlish voice rang out as a gold-clothed little girl appeared before Duan Lingtian. Unlike the white-clothed little girl, this gold-clothed little girl resembled Han Xuanai, equally mischievous. Little Gold. Hearing her voice, Duan Lingtian instantly knew who she was. It hadn't changed at all over the years. Of the two, only Little Gold was female. Little Black was male. Big brother. Little Gold was equally excited. She flew over, elbowed Little White aside, and hugged Duan Lingtian tightly. Big brother, I missed you so much. Though they had sometimes bickered, they had always been close. Big brother. A cool-looking black-clad boy quietly appeared. His features bore some resemblance to Little White's. Excitement flickered across his face as he looked at Duan Lingtian.